How's it going, people? Welcome back to AFTV. I am your host for the evening, Frank, and we are here for the Champions League game, round 8, Girona versus, of course, the Arsenal. And obviously, we're here to look at the starting 11 first. Going to introduce the rest of the panel. To my left, of course, we have the man himself. It's Turkish. Are we allowed to clap? Are we allowed to clap?
I don't need a clap, man.
Are we clapping?
Nah, man.
I'm not clapping.
We've got a clap in the background.
No clap, man.
No one clapping?
I'm not clapping him.
Okay, that's fine. We go over.
Keep your clap.
I'm not clapping.
Keep your claps.
Pause.
Welcome back.
We'll go over to the right. We'll go over to the right with Laurie as well, guys. And obviously, we spoke off camera, Laurie. Obviously, it's game day 8. I think it's all but certain that we've qualified. Obviously, we're at least through to the round of 32, but I think we're out to secure qualification, for that automatic place in the round of 16. So, for you, would you say this is a nothing game today?
No, in fact, I'd go as far as to say the biggest danger to Arsenal tonight is that spectre of complacency.
Yeah.
It's all right for us to be complacent, but the manager, the players, everyone are connected with the club. They've got to take this game very seriously. That being said, though, Girona are not the strongest team, are they?
No, of course not. Where are they sitting in the league? They're sat at 31st, and I think they're confirmed. They're out of the Champions League.
They're
so
toast.
It's definitely a nothing game for them when you put it that way. So do you think Arsenal could take advantage of that potentially?
Yeah, I think so. I think we will take it seriously as the manager, I'm sure, because he's the epitome of professionalism, isn't he? So he will take it seriously. I'm sure the players will do, and I'm sure there'll be some changes. I'm sure we'll talk about that later. As far as the game goes, I'm expecting Arsenal to win, and it's an opportunity for some of the players on the periphery of the team come in and stake their claims.
Absolutely. Turkish, where do you stand on tonight? Obviously, the last game of what is obviously this new format of Champions League. It's quite weird for me to see us still playing group stage games in January. Obviously, this is normally wrapped up by December, but we're still here. And where's your head at in terms of the importance of this game?
It's not very important, is it? I mean, it's probably our last throwaway game left of the season.
Yeah.
One that you could maybe test a few things in, but then you look at the options we have and the limited squad because of injuries, and there's not much you can really test. It would have been nice to have a new striker in by now to test him out, but we're still flirting and taking the piss in the market right now.
And that goes perfectly on to my next question. Obviously, it's day 29 of the January transfer window. We're yet to see any confirmed moves from the Arsenal. Of course, the news that we've seen today is that we're interested in Ollie Watkins. I think it was a 60 or 65 million pound bid that's been rejected. Thoughts on that as a whole, really?
I don't believe it, first and foremost. It just doesn't make sense.
Hey, listen, I'm interested in Rihanna. Doesn't mean to say
ASAP Rocky might have a problem with that. But
If you want to have the out of ASAP Rocky, then of course, go for it.
No, he's about to go down for a number of years, so she might be on the market. But if she's watching this, I am interested in you, Rihanna. So I'm submitting my bid here and now. Will you take me on? I hope my girlfriend's not watching this, by the way.
This took a turn. But anyway, back onto topic. Obviously, Turkish, is that the kind of, the target that one of the targets you would see us going for? Obviously, we've had the links to Vlahovic, we've had the links to Gyökeres. Obviously, Isak's a big name that we're looking for. Is Ollie Watkins, does he fall within that category, or will you be looking, a little bit higher than potentially an Ollie Watkins?
of course, man. You hit the nail on the head with that last sentence. I didn't expect us to be in phase 5 going for Ollie Watkins. You can go for Ollie Watkins in phase 1, and I didn't expect that this whole right profile stuff would land on Ollie Watkins. Now, there's a way you go about it to maybe provide more confidence and momentum to it, and that's maybe if we had done this in the summer, maybe in the first few months of the summer, Watkins comes through the door, you can kind of certain that Arteta wanted him, we got it done early, and he's the striker now. He's coming off the back a couple of good seasons. That smells a lot better than what the stink coming now, which is 29 days into a window where attackers are available and moving left, right and centre. You've been hesitant. The manager's gone, a whole 180 in his opinion in terms of internal solutions to the need to bring in a forward. And it's landed at Ollie Watkins with a few days to go, not even just a few days to go, a few minutes before Duran and Al Nassr seem to have got an agreement. So it stinks. Does Watkins improve our side? Definitely he improves our side, without a shadow of a doubt. But so does Chris Wood. So there's a lot of because
Do you
our
think Chris
strike.
Wood would improve this side?
How can you not think Chris Wood would improve this side?
I'll take Chris Wood.
But what I'm saying is, we're always left in a situation where it's I'll take Sterling. It's the last day of the window. I'll take Watkins. It's 3 days left. What did all this planning over the years and trust the process mean that this is how the final hurdle ends, or the final hurdle is come up against? It just doesn't make sense. I like Watkins. Watkins would improve our attacking line, but number one, I don't believe it, and number two, if it's true, it just stinks of.
He's probably not the answer to the problems.
No.
Is that how you put it? I suppose.
Is he the answer to the problems? I mean, he's a striker.
Mm-hmm.
We need a striker.
Yeah.
So that's a tick there. Is he a gunman? No, not in my opinion. He's been a good striker over the years, not a gunman. My thing is, for the value we're looking at, 60 million, 70 million, if it is true, there's attackers elsewhere. Even the Al Nassr thing I'm seeing with John Duran, they're also in agreement with Leverkusen for Boniface.
They're leaving themselves open, so they've got options.
Yeah, so exactly. They're agreeing with two strikers and deciding, whereas we're kind of seeing, if he goes there, maybe he's going to be available. He supports Arsenal, so maybe if we tickle him a bit, he'll laugh. And why are we always doing this nonsense? Other teams are going out and getting who they need to get. And we're flirting. One day it's Tell, another day it's Barcola, and now it's Watkins. Please give me a break, man. It's the same old bullshit again.
Of course, I can understand where you're coming from. Laurie, obviously, including today, 3 more days left of the transfer window. We've had all the links in the world, but how do you actually see these next 3 days going? Do we make a permanent signing? Do we get that striker? Do we get anyone in these next 3 days, in your opinion?
I've got to say before I answer it, I'm absolutely in agreement with Turkish on this. And if you know me and Turkish, man, he's my boy. But we very rarely agree on most things. But he's absolutely spot on. I mean, who we've been linked with striking-wise this window? A whole host of strikers, including Sesko, Cunha, anyone, Isak, anyone that has a flavour of the month to it. Arsenal seem to be linked. Now, this latest rumour about Ollie Watkins, I can't see for the life of me why Villa would even entertain letting Ollie Watkins go. We know that Ollie Watkins is a very good player. We also know that he's an Arsenal fan. And in the past, he said he'd love to play for Arsenal. But come on, let's be realistic. Villa are competing with us. I mean, I say with us. Primarily, we're going for the title, but also we're chasing down Champions League
They're in
next
that,
season.
they're
in that mix.
well, yeah.
They're also in the mix for the Champions League this season. Ollie Watkins is one of their best players. He's their senior striker. There's no way Villa are going to let him go to it. And if they did, it would take huge sums of money, to which Arsenal are not the type of club that's going to pay that type of money. So I don't think that's going to happen.
No, of course, I see what you mean.
So yeah, I think that's a red herring.
Absolutely. I've got a super chat here from Ricky Proctor, for real. Just reported Al Nassr close to an agreement with Villa for Duran for 75 million euros. Don't see Villa selling 2 strikers in January.
I was going to say that.
PR, we tried PR, yeah. So I can see, yeah. I think it goes back to what Turkish said there again. And, it's stuff that the fans want to hear to keep the ears happy in a way. But
I think whoever's
solid.
like releasing that information, I'm kind of feeling. I don't know what you guys think, that the fans are being a little bit manipulated here, because the club will be aware that the fans are absolutely gagging for a new striker.
Of course.
So if the club come out and say, yeah, we're monitoring the Ollie Watkins situation and we made a bid, I mean, then people start believing it. And we know,
we've got a lot of suckers in this fan base.
We've been manipulated. Don't you feel that?
No, I feel like a little bit. Obviously, it's, 29 days into the transfer window, it's quite clear that we need a striker, and we've seen all the links. So it's all nice to hear it, but I want to see us, do something solid.
Anyone can make a bid, I could go into a shop, a Rolex, and say, yeah, how much is that Rolex? Oh, it's 30 grand. You know what? I'll give you 10. I've got 10. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean to say I'm going to walk out the shop with the Rolex. You know what I'm saying?
No, of course, absolutely.
So it would be remiss of Arsenal not to ask about Ollie Watkins, because, Villa, if they're letting Duran go, then, you know what I mean? But realistically, nah. Especially that if Duran goes, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. I see what you
Especially,
mean.
yeah.
There's another super chat here from London Nomad. We had £65 million, but didn't go for. I'm assuming he means Kvaratskhelia, who went to PSG, and they signed him for £58 million. Who says this is diabolical? Would that have been potentially someone that you would have been interested in? Obviously, not the striking option that we're hoping and praying.
Yeah,
for,
because we know left winger. Like, you know, at times this season, I've said left wing is in more need than striker. So it was always two positions there that we've needed to improve in. Then the Saka injury comes in, and then there's another argument there that the right. So there's an argument for all three positions needed to be, and there's been availability. Kvaratskhelia is one that's actually moved and got over the line. And you asked me, would I take him? Would be stupid to say no to a player coming in that's got quality like that.
With regards to the striker, I'm almost of the view, and I'll be interested to hear what you guys say. And also Marty, big up Marty's in the studio as well, because I know he's outspoken on these issues. If it means that we totally bypass the striker because we can't get the one we want, I'm almost of the view that we should might as well allow it, man, and wait till the summer and get the person that you really want. Like you said, if a forward player comes up that's up for grabs and it's deemed that he can improve us, so then fine. But I'm almost thinking, rather than spend huge sums of money on somebody that you don't really want, would it be better just to wait for a few months? Because let's face it, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Look at what it breeds, though. Can I just read some of the comments?
Go.
This is on the manipulation thing you said, and this is where I said we've got a lot of suckers. Apologies if you take this to offence, people. I'm just going to take
a couple. Called him a sucker.
I'm not going to say the names. I'm just going to say the comments out. Yeah. So one of them is Turkish is talking absolute rubbish. We need a striker now. Agreed.
Yep.
And you turn your nose up at it. I'm not. I'm just saying the way we've gone about it.
Yeah.
Duran was starting games ahead of Watkins at the beginning of January. So might it have been the time to go in then when he's been dropped? But not dropped, but he's maybe. But I'm stupid talking rubbish. And because besides, listen to this one. Besides, Ollie is a stopgap signing. Wasn't Trossard stopgap? Wasn't Jorginho stopgap? But we're still playing them now. How stupid of me. There's another one here where Turkish basically overthinks everything. You're not Nostradamus. I know I'm not, but you learn off of the past events, right? And the past events will tell you. I'm still hearing about we tried for Vlahovic 2 years ago. Fans still say we tried for Vlahovic. No proof whatsoever. But when we argue about a striker, it's not the right profile. Remember when he wanted Vlahovic? So again, the manipulation, and these people have the cheek to say, I'm talking rubbish. Like, did
the club submit an offer for Vlahovic? But Vlahovic turned the club
reportedly.
Down.
Reported. But this is another one. I'm going to be hearing we tried for Watkins in 3 years. This is what the club does. And then the fan, look at them already. They're just biting at it. And it's Watkins, This ain't like we're talking about Isak and Watkins does, I'm going to go back to it, that he does improve us. If he comes in, we're a better side. But 29 days into the window, if it's Watkins you wanted, you would have flirted with it in the summer. You would have gone early in January.
It's a good point, because up until today, I've not heard Watkins' name being mentioned by anyone.
It's come out of nowhere.
Yeah. So it's only come out today, though, because of what's happened with Duran.
No, of course.
Like Turkey said, if it's a guy that you earmarked as somebody that you wanted, surely you would have put in a bid for him sooner, because... and you would probably more likely have got him then.
Yeah.
Because, Duran's always been, I want to play football thing. So go for Watkins, unsettle him, and then Duran will step into that place. But there's no way Villa are going to let us have one. I'll be extremely surprised.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. And just to go back to what Turkish said, I think this is what this super chat's implying as well. This time next week, Robbie will be saying, look, we bid for Watkins, not our fault. We didn't get anyone. The club tried.
Yeah.
We know our club. I'm bored. I can sense the frustration. And guys, the lineup's due to come out in the next minute or so.
Is he Nostradamus? Because he might have just seen into the future.
Another super chat.
To be fair, Robbie's not here to defend himself.
Yeah.
Robbie can't defend himself. No, but hold on. Robbie mentioned me on a fan cam the other day and lied on my name. He lied. I wasn't even in the studio and he lied on my name. Yeah, don't
pull up on him for that.
Don't worry, I'm waiting for him. He's in Girona.
Yeah, but you know what? I am gonna defend him, not just because he's my younger brother, but to be fair to Robbie, he's quite an optimist, right? And so what he will do is he will try and present the club's point of view first and foremost.
Yeah.
I don't think he's automatically saying rare. He's just saying, look, the club are going. That's what he does on his Transfer Daily show.
Absolutely. We've got another super chat here from Pavanjit. Bidding for Villa's first choice striker when they're already in talks to sell their second choice striker, and that hours before their must-win European clash reeks of incompetency, stupidity, and Arsenal.
It reeks of manipulation.
It does. No.
Am I being unfair here on the club? Not at all. I think that they're doing that because they know that there's gullible fans out there who, you know what I mean, smarting. They want somebody in. If we say, yeah, we're, you know what I mean, we're interested, we made a bid, it kind of sounds good, but in reality, man, come on. Like Turkey said, if you really saw him as that guy, you would have made moves to sign him sooner.
Of course, absolutely.
All in 1 month. Sesko was the one we wanted, Isak was the one we want, and now it's...
Cunha. What happened to Cunha?
And these same people will swing off all these nutsacks. Whenever one of these ball bags drop, they're swinging off it. From one ball bag to the next, whoever it is, whether it's Fabrizio or Ornstein or
family show.
I don't know.
This is a family show, man.
Yeah, but they should stop swinging.
I don't know where this is going, but let's bring it back onto track.
It's a family show.
The lineup has just been announced, and I'm quite surprised by what I'm seeing, actually.
Really?
We'll start off with the goalkeeper. Neto
Right.
is making his debut tonight.
Big up Neto, man.
And from what I can see, Raya's not even on the bench. I don't think we saw any news about that being a potential injury or anything like that.
Man.
But
No, but can I just say very quickly?
Go on.
I think Turkish, you were there the other day when I took some stick for saying that it's about time he got a game. I think I was advocating for him to play against Zagreb, wasn't it? Wasn't it the Zagreb game?
Yeah, last
And
week.
everyone was,
Wasn't here.
I said, look, Neto is supposed to, by all accounts, he's supposed to be a very talented keeper that hasn't had an opportunity to play. And I was saying, look, we got to get a look at him at some point. Supposing Ray had got injured or sick or whatever, something, God forbid, happened to him. You know what I mean? You're going to have to put Neto in at some stage to play him. So listen, I welcome that.
there you go. That's what happens though when you sign a second choice goalkeeper that's cup tied and hasn't had the opportunity to play yet. Moving on to defence, it looks like we've got Thomas Partey at right back, Kivior, Gabriel at centre backs, Calafiori at left back, a midfield three of Jorginho, Mikel Merino, and Martin Odegaard, and then up top, Ethan Nwaneri makes his start, Raheem Sterling and Leandro Trossard. Now it's interesting to see. It's probably likely to be Leandro Trossard up front. I know Ethan can play there. I know Raheem Sterling can play there. But if you're looking at the most natural finisher at the club, it's got to be Leandro Trossard up there, surely, Turkey.
Yeah. It'll be him. Sterling and Nwaneri working off him.
Mm-hmm.
He'll drop in, do the dirty.
Everyone says that he's the most natural finisher, but is Havertz the top scorer this season and last season?
He's had significantly more minutes, though, for balance. And then
No, I'm just playing devil's advocate.
No, of course, I understand. Laurie, obviously, from what we can see, it's very, I don't want to say weakened, because I don't want to, criticise any of the players that are on the pitch today, but, a rotated squad. Is that what you expected to see today?
I'm happy, and I know Turkey should probably be at odds with this, but Raheem Sterling, I'm happy to see him start. He's not had a lot of minutes. Yes, absolutely. Has he done what he's supposed to have done or what we thought he should have done so far? Absolutely not. However, he's still here. He will be here until the summer. We must use him because he might need to be called upon. So it's only right you get minutes.
Absolutely. Just going to run through the bench here as well. We've got Charlie Setford, Josh Porter, Urian Timber, William Saliba, Miles Lewis-Skelly, who we'll talk about in just a moment as well, Kieran Tierney, Alexander Zinchenko, Declan Rice, Salah, Martinelli, and Havertz, and Nathan Butler-Oyedeji. So, a pretty decent options coming off the bench there. I'm going to try and find the Girona lineup as well. Turkish, while I'm looking for that, what do you think of the lineup? Did you expect that level of rotation tonight?
Yeah, you got to rotate, man. It's a nothing game. I would have liked to see Calafiori centre back, just to see him there. That's his natural position, and we could have played Zinchenko. That's left back, and you said he's on the bench. I know there's rumours about a move to Dortmund, but he's on the bench. So I would have liked to see Calafiori centre back, just to give him a go in his natural position. Aside from that, it is what it is. Nwaneri's starting. That's a bit of excitement up top. Sterling, another chance for him to. Oh, for fuck that! Who am I kidding, man?
What is it?
We're always talking about chances for these players, but if you're going to play a Sterling and this is the game to play him. One that means nothing.
What does it say for a player like Zinchenko? Like obviously, the team's been heavily rotated today, and he still can't make the starting 11.
He started recently though for us, no? Or did he? He's been used a couple of times off the bench. So maybe the move is on the horizon, and it's a case of protecting him and. We need to make more profit because we didn't make enough profit in the summer. So maybe that's, maybe we just need PSR, FFP, UCF.
By all accounts, that move to Germany is quite advanced stages, isn't it?
If it was that advanced, he wouldn't be under.
So that might explain why he's not playing today.
Fair enough.
There's only a few days left in the window.
Yeah, it could explain it. I'm trying
on that though, the rotation, I'm pleased to see Kivior get another chance as well because he's another one like Sterling, been on the periphery of the team, rarely plays. So today is an ideal opportunity for him to show his worth.
Of course, absolutely. I'm trying to find the Girona lineup, but it doesn't look like they've released those yet. I'm going to come back to what I said earlier. Obviously, we had the news yesterday or the day before, I can't quite remember, on Miles Lewis-Skelly's red card being overturned, which for me was an outrageous decision from Michael Oliver in the first place. Turkish, what's your thoughts on that? He's going to be available for City. He's going to be available for Newcastle. And, he's looking like a player that would, be in the starting 11 for those games off of merit at the moment.
He's been one of our best players this season, in my opinion. I said we got away with it because we got the 3 points expecting that this will get overturned. And it was quickly overturned. And in that sense of the matter, it's done and dusted in terms of, this issue. The bigger issue, it's going to take a long time. It's not the last time we're going to talk about refs. As long as he's back for the next couple of games, that's the most important thing, because he is a key player for us. Aside from that, I'm not going to start talking about Oliver and all this nonsense again, because enough people have spoken about it. Something does need to be done now. They can't keep on shying away from it or using deflection tactics like they've done over the last few days with both Oliver and Coot. I think shit has hit the fan. It's time to do something about it, Webb. And if they don't, then more of this is going to happen. More moments like this in games, and unfortunately, off the back of it, more shit like you get in on social media. They have to address the problem. That these men ain't the Avengers. You can't just let them run free and make whatever decisions they want every week, and they're never held accountable. That's not going to work. Not a top level professional sport, and the business it is now. So sort it out now. But yeah, Miles Lewis-Skelly, big player for us. Glad he's back.
Yeah, I echo that. I mean, listen, let's be honest. That decision on Saturday, when I watched it live, I called it one of the worst decisions I've ever seen in the Premier League. And I think pretty much everyone who's seen it would agree with that, with the exception of Michael Oliver. And VAR, listen, not a lot of people, well, some people have said so, but I think VAR are just as culpable as Michael Oliver. Because in the heat of the moment, believe it or not, even though it was a terrible decision,
they said it wasn't a clear and obvious error as well.
But for them to look at that repeatedly and come to the conclusion that that was not a clear and obvious error, they're just as bad, if not worse, than Michael Oliver. And yeah, I just want to say what Turkish said as well with regards to the abuse he got. That's not fair, that's not right, and I don't align myself with anything like that, not at all. It was interesting that the panel that looked at it, the appeals panel, was an independent panel.
You have to go to it. You have to go to a non-biased panel.
Isn't it interesting that once the independent panel looked at it, they just said, nah, overturn, which is the right thing to do. And let's hope that now it's been overturned, like Turkish said, the noise can dissipate and we get back to football. In terms of Miles Lewis-Skelly, it's great news for him because missing 3 games, he's forging his way into the Arsenal team. He's having a really good season. So to have that miscarriage of justice on your back is really bad. He would have missed 3 games. Now he's right back in the mix for a starting place against City on Sunday, which I would imagine he's not playing tonight, is he?
No, he's not.
So that would lead me to believe that he's going to be straight in there, which is good because we need him.
Absolutely. I've got the Girona lineup here. I'm going to go through this and then I'm going to go through a few of the super chats. I know they're flying in at the moment. Paul Lopez in goal, Arnau, Shankov, Abel Ruiz, Aspria, Dan Juma, who's of course a former Spurs player, Oriol Romeu, Juan Pe, Francis, Ivan Martin and Antau. So I believe that's one of their...
So Donny van der Beek's not playing?
Donny van der Beek's not playing. Obviously, this is like you said, they're already out of the competition, so I'd imagine that's a fairly rotated team for them.
But why are they rotating? They're 8th in the Liga.
8th in La Liga, yes.
Yeah, so but why are they rotating?
They're already confirmed to be out.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. But I would have thought that for their fans' sake, Arsenal coming to town is a big game.
Yeah.
You would have thought they would have put out their bid. Because you never know, if they go for it, they might get a result against us, especially if Arsenal is slightly undercooked.
Of course, yeah.
But anyway, that's their business. Oriol Romeu, of course, he used to play for Southampton, didn't he?
Yeah. It's not just Southampton, Barcelona, Chelsea.
Yeah. No, but last seen in the Premier League at Southampton.
No, of course, absolutely.
He was a good player.
He was. Yeah. Super chat here from London Nomad. It's not exactly a nothing game. If we win, then we can guarantee an easy ride until the quarters. The lower we finished, we might get Bayern Munich or Real Madrid in the round of 16. I think this goes back to what you were saying earlier off camera about the seeded and unseeded. Yeah. Help me understand that, because I'm not too familiar with the rule for this year.
So basically what they've done, they've seeded the draws.
Yep.
So that what they're trying to do, the motive behind that is to make all the games competitive. So this is a good example. So Arsenal versus Girona, Arsenal pretty much qualified for the last 8, yeah? But they're still giving Arsenal an incentive to beat Girona because, like you said, the further up the table you finish, right, it works out in terms of seeding because you then get drawn against somebody that's at the lower end.
Right, okay, I see what you mean.
Rather than it's you all go in the hat and you could pull out anyone. So I do think that is a correct way to go about things. And like I said, it keeps a little bit of incentive for the manager to want to finish as high up that table as you can because it is reflected in the draw. Absolutely. That being said, though, when you get to the knockout stages, any team's going to be difficult, really. Isn't it? It's 100%. Just how difficult.
100%. Another super chat here from Leandros. All for Watkins, but he is our Trossard to Isak. Turkish. Potentially know what he means there?
I know what he means.
What does he mean? Go on.
He means that Ollie Watkins, basically what he's saying is Ollie Watkins is not as good as Isak. So Isak would be the first choice, but if you don't get Isak, then your default position would be somebody like Ollie Watkins. Now, Ollie Watkins is a very good striker, but I think most people around this table would agree that Isak is a clear head and shoulders above him. And not just this season either. I just think that Isak is a better player.
No, 100%. Okay, guys, we're going to run through the lineup one more time, and then we're going to round up until we come back for the actual watch along itself. So, just as a reminder, in goal we have Neto making his debut for the club. A back four of Ricardo Calafiori, Gabriel, Jakub Kivior, and Thomas Partey. A midfield three of Martin Odegaard, Jorginho, and Mikel Merino. And then up top, making a start, Ethan Nwaneri, Leandro Trossard up top, and then on that left-hand side, we have Raheem Sterling. Just before we round up, guys, early score predictions. What are you going to go for?
2-0.
Okay. Laurie?
Yeah, I went for 2-0. It's an away game. I'm sure Girona are going to put a shift in, but I just think Arsenal are too good in pretty much every area, and I can't see them slipping up tonight.
Absolutely. And as for score prediction myself, you know what? I don't see us keeping a clean sheet, but that defence, unfortunately. But I'm still pretty confident. I'm going to go 3-1 Arsenal, and that's going to be it for the starting 11 show, guys. We're going to be back in about 45 minutes time. Of course, kickoff's at 8 o'clock UK time, so stay tuned. Obviously, all 3 of us are going to be on it. There's going to be more people joining us as well, so stay tuned. We will see you guys very, very soon.